What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Lawn Chart channel. So today we are going to do our first real fertilizer of the lawn, and we are also going to talk a little bit about herbicides. Now, if you guys watched my last video, we talked about the manual process I use for pulling weeds, and I also mentioned that I wanted to limit the amount of herbicides that I put in the lawn this year. But I also mentioned that herbicides are an inevitability in my lawn simply because of the fact that I didn't use any pre-emergent. Now, before we get to the herbicide, let's talk a little bit about fertilizing. So we did the stress blend, which was really meant to just wake up the lawn this year. And then this fertilizer that we're going to use today, which I'll share with you guys in a minute, is really meant to do our first real push of growth in the lawn. One of the things that may pop up into your head, because it popped up into my head also, is, well, if you're pushing growth in the lawn, aren't you also pushing growth in the weeds? That is actually a very good point. Yes, we are pushing growth in everything. But the thing that you want to keep in mind is that in order for herbicides to work properly in your lawn, you have to have the weeds growing actively. The purpose of the fertilizer is to make sure that the grass is really healthy so that it's prepared for when we hit it with an herbicide. But it's also meant to push growth with the weeds because we want those weeds to actually uptake the herbicide in order to kill it effectively. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it should work. At least that's my theory. And so that's kind of the plan that we're going with right now. So the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to hit it with some fertilizer, and then we'll come back with an herbicide. And the herbicide is really meant to kill some of the dandelions that I'm seeing in the lawn. I also see some clover and a few other things. So, one of the things that I was thinking about was maybe if you guys comment down below on some of the herbicides that you all use in your lawn. I was thinking that if I end up using the same herbicide, then I'll give you guys a shout out in my next video. How does that sound? So if you guys have a favorite herbicide that you use for the weeds that I just mentioned and they are effective, go ahead and throw them down below. If I happen to be using the same thing, then we'll just give you a shout out when I do the herbicide video. So first things first, let's get to the fertilizer and I'll show you what I'm going to use right here. All right, so this is what we're going to be using today. We are going to be using the Flagship product from Yard Mastery. And the reason why I'm using this is because it's got a really good macronutrient composition for what we want. It's a 2406, which means that it's got 24% nitrogen. It's got no phosphorus, which I know I don't need any of that in this yard. And then I've got 6 potassium, which is also a really good number. Now, what those numbers mean, if we go back and think about how this all works, is the nitrogen is for top growth, the phosphorus is for root growth, and then the potassium is for overall growth. Now, most lawns or most soils here in the part of the country that I live in, we've got plenty of phosphorus, and it's also a big pollutant. We don't want to overdo it on the phosphorus because we're just going to be adding to a bunch of chemicals that we don't need. The other thing I like about this product is it does have a little bit of iron, which will also help with the greening of the lawn. Now, I mowed my lawn last night. As you go around, you'll see that the lawn actually looks really good, and it does have a really good color, but you can never have too much green, right? So that's the reason why we're going to continue to use it. So we're just going to follow the bag rate. We're going to put it in my cast spreader that I have, my little cheap Scott's cast spreader. Eventually I'll get a new spreader, but for now it works, so I'm going to stick with it. And then eventually I'll spend some money and get me something nicer, but it works, so we're going to use it. So let's get to it. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So keep in mind, the big thing that we're trying to accomplish here is to make sure that we get that first really good feeding in the lawn. We're trying to promote some really good top growth and some overall plant growth. The other thing that we're trying to do is to actually stimulate some of those weeds to grow as well, so that we can get that herbicide on there next week. And as a reminder, don't forget to comment down below what kind of herbicides that you guys like to use for the broadleaf type of weeds that I'm experiencing here. Again, I've got some dandelion, I've got some clover, and I've got a few other things. It's not really bad, it's just that it's all over the place. And so for me to hand pull everything would be kind of counterproductive. So what I really want to do is get a good application of herbicide, get rid of the majority of it, so that then I can just maintain it manually from that point on. So anyway, comment down below if you have any other questions unrelated to the herbicide or just the product or anything else. And the one thing I want to make sure that you guys know is that I do have a link down below if you want to purchase this product for yourself. It is an affiliate link, which means that I do make a couple bucks on any product that you purchase. Feel free to use another link or use another product. The key here is to make sure that you're using a good product that has an overall good macronutrient composition for the composition of your lawn. Now, I know there's been a lot of soil test videos out there, so you're free to go out there and check out other people's videos to see how they are doing their soil tests. I do have a video that I'll link up above here that you guys can check out for your own pleasure, for you to figure out like what I use. I also use a Yard Mastery product for the most part. It's just simple. For me, I don't really look at price as much on certain things. I just want things to be really simple and really easy for me to figure out what direction I need to go in. For my lawn, I haven't done a soil test yet this year. I probably will do one here pretty soon. I wanted to get this first nitrogen application in before I go and do anything. I do recommend that you do one for yours so that you can figure out what is your deficiencies and that you can tackle it the best way possible. So that's it. I will see you guys on the next video, where we will probably either be doing the herbicide, or I may have this project here done. As you can see, I've got a little bit of stuff that I started with my wife. We're gonna be working on that this afternoon, but I wanted to get it all done, or at least mostly done, before I share the video on what we're doing here. So hope you guys have a great week. If you like this video, don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe if I've earned your subscription. And for those of you who do subscribe to my channel, I really, really do appreciate it. And also, if you want to be notified of any future content that I put out there, go ahead and hit that bell, and it'll notify you next time I put out some new videos for you. So with that, have a great week, and we will see you on the next one.